Hey everyone, welcome to another Level Logic video. Today I just wanted to cover two of the main indicators in the suite, SEIZ and MORE, but I wanted to show them side by side so you can see exactly the difference between the two conditions that they're measuring, because they are very similar, and I've had a lot of questions in the Discord about some things between them and what's the difference. So I just wanted to show you a scenario here where they're both showing something slightly similar, but they are acting on two conditions on the data set to show slightly different things. So if we look here, we're looking at 7-hour candles, 7-hour time periods. So we've got one that starts at 1 a.m. and we've got one that starts at 8 a.m. So between these vertical lines here, we're looking at a 7-hour candle or a 7-hour interval of time. All right. So for SEIZ to get these external high zones, it's only looking at one condition. It's looking at if we broke the previous high. Okay. So let's imagine that let's imagine I'm looking at 200 data points of the 7-hour candle that starts at 8. So I'm looking at 200 7-hour candles that start at 8. 100 of them might go external, so above the previous high, and 100 of them might go internal, so below the previous high. They make their high. So for these external high percentile zones, SEIZ, let me just turn more off for a second. SEIZ is measuring how far price goes in this 7-hour period before it stops. Okay, so it might stop here, it might stop here, and that's what these data points are. So out of the 100 of the 200 that went external, okay, imagine these are all the 100 times that we went external for this 7-hour period previously, and how far did they go? So then the percentiles are essentially categorizing it for you to show you that, okay, if we're at the median, 50% of the data previously stopped below this within this 7-hour period of time. We get up to the 85th, then 85% of the data stopped before this in this 7-hour period of time. Now, MORE is slightly different in that it adds another filter condition to the data. So we're still starting with that original 100 data points of external. So for MORE to activate and open to retest, it either needs to take out the previous high or the previous low. So in this instance, we've taken out the previous high. So we've activated and open to retest and these extension zones. So it's starting with that original 100 times that this 7-hour candle broke the previous high. However, now we're saying, okay, out of that 100 times, how many times did we also retest the open of this candle after making that break? And in this instance, we've got 85%. So that happened 85 out of that 100 times. Okay. So now these zones, these percentile zones, you can see are obviously measuring 85 data points, not 100. That's why it's different. So our median is much lower. So if we, all the zones are going to be much lower. Okay, because SEIZ is measuring how far it goes regardless of any retests or what it's doing. It's just finding where price is likely to stop based on the historic data for this time period. Whereas MORE is looking at how far it'll go out of the 85 before we retest the open. Okay, so it doesn't mean it has to retest the open. 15 times out of the 100, it will just keep going. And that's where SEIZ helps, because SEIZ will tell you if it's going to keep going and not retest this open, SEIZ is going to tell you how far it's likely to go. Okay, based on its percentiles, because it's looking at this whole time interval between these two lines, and based on the historic data, how far it's likely to go. So it's much more general, whereas MORE is a more specific condition. Okay, so hopefully that clears things up for you. Let me know if there's any other questions, but yeah, that should make it a little bit clearer. Hopefully those visualizations helped as well. But yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.